Are you super far away?
No, it looks better from this distance. Everyone said look. Turn. Just look. What a beautiful fucking thing. Now, you were looking for the most science-based optimal arm day, and you're in luck, because that's what we'll be doing today. Now, I'm not a PhD sports scientist, and neither have I ever taken a kinesiology class. However, I am borderline autistic and have done a hefty amount of research into optimal science-based training. Seriously. I've done a stupid amount of research. And if you don't believe me, just look at the progress I've made in my physique as a natural hypertrophy science-based lifter in only about 5 months. Today's day will be split into the following exercises. Firstly, we'll be starting with a warm-up for our rotator cuffs, followed by a tricep exercise, a bicep exercise, a shoulder exercise, another tricep exercise, and finally, to end it all, a bicep exercise. These are some quick general guidelines for this arm day, which can be extended into pretty much all of your training. All exercises will be done in 3 working sets in the rep range of 6 to 15, and all sets will be taken to failure. Additionally, you want to rest for about 2 to 3 minutes between each set, which will allow your body to rest adequately. This will make your gym session take longer, and just know that you will be sacrificing gains and optimal training if you decide to rest for a shorter amount of time. We'll be using a lot of cables because cables provide constant tension throughout the entire range of motion, unlike free weights where tension can vary due to gravity. This constant tension leads to more effective muscle stimulation and growth. Using cables also allows for easy adjustments in resistance and angle, offering a variety of stimuli to the muscles being trained and aiding with overall muscle development and strength. I will not be discussing the use of cables for the rest of the video, so just have that in the back of your mind. We will also be training most exercises unilaterally, or in layman's terms, one side at a time. The unilateral approach ensures that each muscle is worked independently, preventing the dominant arm from compensating for the weaker one. This can help address and correct imbalances between the two sides. Unilateral exercises also lead to higher levels of muscle activation as the body works to stabilize and focus on the movement for one limb at a time. Anyways, enough talking, let's get into the workout. We'll be starting off with rotator cuff warm-ups. For this exercise, I want you to grab a light dumbbell, and today we're going to be using the 10-pound dumbbell. You want to stand straight and bend your arm to 90 degrees for the whole warm-up. Now, I'm not sure how to describe the exercises that we're doing today, but you want to do what I'm basically doing on the screen. You want to do 10 repetitions of each movement for each side. Now, warming up your rotator cuffs before engaging in physical activity is important for several reasons. Firstly, injury prevention. A proper warm-up increases blood flow to these muscles, making them more flexible and less prone to tears and strains. It also leads to improved performance. Warm muscles are more efficient. By warming up your rotator cuffs, you enhance your shoulder mobility and strength, which can improve your overall performance in exercises that involve the upper body. It also leads to enhanced joint health. Warming up helps lubricate the shoulder joint, reducing the risk of joint wear and tear over time. It also helps with increased range of motion. A good warm-up can help increase the range of motion in your shoulders, allowing for greater movement and flexibility during your workout or sport. If you don't know, your rotator cuff is basically your shoulder. Now, moving on to our first exercise, which is the tricep pushdown. For the tricep pushdown, I recommend using the triangular cable attachment, but honestly, straight bar cables work just as fine. I recommend experimenting to find the attachment that is right for you. You'll keep your elbows almost glued to your torso for this exercise and only bend your arms. Just as I'm doing, you'll push your arms down until they're fully straight, then you will slowly release the weight. Before we get into the working sets, we of course need to do warm-up sets. Warm-up sets should be in the RP 5 to 7 range, which basically means that they should be a 5 to 7 out of 10 difficulty. I'm also thinking of starting a new series where I delve deep into each exercise that you do at the gym and how to properly execute it. If you have any suggestions on what exercise I should do, make sure you comment it down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content so far, so you can stay up to date with the best quality content on this platform. Warming up a muscle group through warm-up sets before engaging in heavier lifting or intense exercise offers several benefits. Primarily, injury prevention. Gradually increasing the load of the muscles prepares them for a more strenuous activity and reduces the risk of muscle strains, tears, or other injuries. It also leads to enhanced muscle performance. Warm-up sets increase blood flow and temperature in the targeted muscles, improving their elasticity and contractile performance. This can lead to better strength and power output during your workout. It also leads to improved neuromuscular activation, or mind-muscle connection. Starting with lighter weights helps in fine-tuning the connection between your nervous system and the muscles. This improved communication can enhance technique and efficiency in your movements. Next, we'll be moving on to the working sets. These should have the same form as a warm-up, but of course these will be much harder, taking the set to RPE 10, which basically means failure. Now that the first tricep exercise is out of the way, we'll move on to the first bicep exercise, which is the unilateral face-away strict bicep bicep cable curl. Now that is a mouthful, but it's a pretty simple exercise to set up. We'll be using the D handle, which is this little thing. We'll find a surface to rest our elbow on, making sure that when we pull the weight, the arm bends in the direction opposite to the cable, providing a better resistance profile. If that's not possible for you, you can also do it the other way around, ensuring that the movement is consistent on both sides. Just like the tricep pushdown, you will quickly bend your arm, flexing the bicep, and slowly release the weight, and repeat, making sure you have a controlled eccentric. Using unilateral cables with the elbow pressed against the surface for strict movement during bicep training as opposed to free weights offers specific advantages. A. Isolation. This method isolates the biceps more effectively. By stabilizing the elbow against the surface, you reduce the involvement of other muscles, ensuring that the bicep receives the primary focus of the exercise. B. Better form and safety. This method promotes strict form, reducing the risk of injury. It helps prevent common mistakes such as swinging the weights or compensating with other muscles, which can lead to strain or injury. C. Enhanced muscle activation. The stability provided by this technique can lead to better mind-muscle connection and muscle activation, as the focus can be on solely contracting the bicep without worrying about balancing the weight. Moving on to the first and only shoulder exercise of the day. The setup for this one might be a little more challenging, but it's nothing crazy. You'll only need an ankle strap for this one. All you need to do is set the cable to hand height or around halfway of your thigh or femur. Next, place your feet right next to the cable and hold on to the cable machine, which allows you to slightly lean away from the cable. Then you'll raise your arm so that your elbow is shoulder to chin height, and you will slowly lower the weight and repeat, making sure you really control that eccentric, as that's where most of the muscle growth will come in. Training the lateral shoulder head by performing lateral shoulder cable flies with an ankle strap attached to your elbow, leaning away from the cable machine, as opposed to using free weights or a D handle, has very specific advantages. Starting off with enhanced range of motion. Leaning away from the cable machine allows for a greater range of motion compared to standing upright. This extended range can lead to a more comprehensive muscle fiber activation and growth of the lateral deltoids. Increased muscle isolation. The use of an ankle strap attached to the elbow ensures that the movement isolates the lateral deltoid by minimizing the involvement of the biceps and triceps, which is harder to achieve with free weights. It also reduces the amount of momentum that you can use. Reduced risk of injury. This method provides a controlled movement pattern that reduces the risk of using excessive momentum and thus lowers the chance of shoulder injuries. Now let's swiftly move on to the second tricep exercise. Let me introduce you to the unilateral cable tricep pushdown, which is a personal favorite of mine. Take an ankle strap and place it to your wrist as shown. Then place your feet close to the cable and lean back slightly, allowing for your elbow to comfortably sit behind your torso. Then pull down quickly, straightening your elbow, ensuring that it's still behind your torso, then slowly lower the weight and repeat. Training your triceps with the unilateral cable tricep pushdowns while leaning slightly back from the cable machine offers several advantages over traditional methods. Primarily enhanced muscle engagement. Leaning slightly back allows for a more complete contraction of the triceps at the bottom of the movement. This position can help you target the triceps more effectively by ensuring the muscle is fully engaged throughout its range of motion. It also provides an increased range of motion. Leaning back slightly changes the angle of resistance, potentially increasing the range of motion compared to standing upright. This can lead to better muscle stretch and contraction during this exercise. And finally, reduce joint stress. Using a cable machine can offer smooth motion compared to free weights, potentially reducing stress on the elbow and the shoulder joints. Again, if you have any joint pain, stop and look for another exercise that you can do. Moving on to our final exercise, the unilateral hammer grip preacher curls. These are super simple. So on your preacher curl, make sure that your whole upper arm touches and rests comfortably on the preacher curl. Then take your dumbbell and slowly lower it until your arm is almost fully extended. Do not, and I repeat, do not overstretch your arm. Then quickly raise the forearm, ensuring that you flex your bicep. You should hold the dumbbell in a neutral position, almost as if you were going to hammer a nail with it, hence the name hammer grip. Training your biceps with unilateral hammer grip preacher curls offers several benefits for muscle development, symmetry, and overall arm strength. A. Isolation focus. The preacher bench provides a stable platform that isolates the biceps by preventing other muscle groups from assisting in the curl. This ensures that the biceps work harder, leading to more focused muscle growth. Starting to see a pattern here. Hammer grip benefits. Using a hammer grip, where your palms face each other, targets not only the bicep brachiali, but also some more of the forearm muscles. This can lead to a more comprehensive arm workout, enhancing forearm development and the overall appearance of the arms. Remember, balance is key in physique. Prevention of momentum use. The preacher bench setup helps prevent the use of momentum to lift the weight, ensuring that the bicep muscle does most of the work throughout the entire range of motion. And unfortunately, that finally concludes our arm day. This video was packed with information, so if you want to rewatch it, feel free to do so, or if you want to come back to it before your next arm day, you're more than welcome to. Again, let me know in the comments if you want to see any more of this educational content. I'm planning to do this for more days within any split, And yeah, I guess I'll catch you in the next one.